Any situation where you have too much of the sameness, too much of the same opinion, same perspective, and same background, you're most likely ignoring or not connecting with a huge proportion of your audience. Because our audience is diverse.
Our brand values of fun and creativity and learning and quality and imagination apply to absolutely everybody, and that's why we've created a set like this to say we want to include everybody, no matter how young or old you are, what gender you are. Lego's for everybody, and we just wanted to make sure that everyone around the world knows that.
I think my desire or appreciation for diversity and inclusiveness comes from the fact that I felt unincluded and unaccepted for such a big part of my formative years. When I lived in Soviet Union, I was labeled Jewish. Then when I came to America, I was labeled Russian, so that also carried limitations. And then I was labeled a woman. So all these labels, not even being labeled, but almost like not being like fitting into the lifestyle that was accepted. I was working at Quaker Oats, and I had this, lady, Polly. She was, I think, probably one of the few women business leaders at Quaker who were actually running the whole division. She sat me down about 3 years in, and she said, "What are your thoughts about the future?" And at that time, I was entertaining the idea of going to Coca-Cola because I had an offer on the table, but it was in Atlanta. But it was an international role. It was a global role. It was a role for a big international company with a really exciting brand. Quaker was a Midwestern company. It was before they were owned by Pepsi. Midwestern values and very U.S.-centric. And Polly was quite an open-minded person. And when she asked me about it, I said, well, I'm really torn because I love the company and my family is in Chicago. And she said to me, you should go for Coke. And I asked her why. And she said, you'll never succeed here. Look at you. You are 27. You've already been through one marriage. That was a bit of a mistake from the past. You are traveling the world on your own. Look around you. People here, they like being married, having a house in the suburbs, 2 cars, 1 dog, 2.5 children. That's the life. Those are the kinds of people that they're looking for to have around them. You're too different. For me, that signaled something. 1, the fact that I was different. 2nd, the fact that that cannot be the way of the future.
This set is called Everyone is Awesome, and it's a very special set to us at the Lego Group because it's the first time we're launching a product that really celebrates diversity in our fan base.
So I went to Coke, and I think I discovered myself there in some ways. But it was a very big diversity lesson. And I think all of those limitations really made a huge impact on me because what I truly believe is that diversity is absolutely critical, because diversity means that you are able to bring in very different experiences, very different perspectives, very different points of view. And if we don't leverage diversity in the world that we live in today, we most likely are not going to be able to succeed.
Over the last few years, there's been a lot of sort of struggles in the world, and I think that's really made us reflect as individuals and a society that we could all probably be doing something a little bit more to show empathy and love and acceptance for other people, and that's one of the things that we've really, really wanted to do with this set.
When you think about, I guess, the people on your team, what kind of people are you looking to bring on board?
I love the idea of diversity and inclusivity. And diversity comes in different ways. Of course, there's functional experience. So I have some people who are coming from deeply technical engineering background. I have people who come from literary background. I have people who come from creative background. And I have people with very strong marketing expertise. Cultural diversity, also very important. Cognitive diversity. And on top of it, of course, gender, race, things like that. I also want to sort of maybe double down a little bit on cognitive diversity because we don't talk a lot about that. But that's about the fact that people think differently. Some people are very logical. Some people come at things much more from an intuitive perspective. I believe in this idea of one team. I think we kind of work together very much as one team in my leadership team and in my organization. And being able to make the best out of what each of us brings versus trying to kind of mold ourselves, to fit each other.
If you could change one thing in our ways of working at the Lego Group, which you believe would help diversity flourish, what would that be?
It's always that one thing that is super tough.
You only get one wish.
I honestly believe that we have to create much more of an inclusive mindset, a desire for inclusivity amongst people who've been here for a long, long time. It's not to brand people and say that they're not inclusive, but I think when you've been somewhere for a very long time, it's more challenging to accept something completely fresh and new. But if you really want it, you'll not just accept it, you'll seek it out. And I wish we could create that kind of desire and pleasure in seeking out diversity.